Okay, how's that? Yay, so you can hear me now. Okay, perfect. Technology, it's great when it works.
So, just like last time, we've got about 5 to 6 questions that we want to ask you from your episode on lousy labels.
Sounds good. I'm ready. If when you ask the questions, just stand close to the mic because you were fading in and out a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So who's got the first question?
So you have to stand fairly close.
Okay.
Closer.
How did you get interested in finding out if a product is a lousy label or not?
Okay, that's a great question. On our show, we do a Lousy Labels program once every season because we found they're really popular with our viewers. People really care a lot about labeling now, more than we ever used to, because more and more ingredients are getting into products that are making us sick or potentially sick. So every year we do something looking at labels, and this year it was looking at phony green claims for products for your home. But last year we did natural and organic claims, and the year before that we looked at food. So it's really from our viewers. They write in and they ask us about products. Is this something you could investigate? And we thought we would put them all together in one edition of Lousy Labels of products for your home.
Question number 2.
Dos. Número dos. It's after one. It's between one.
Okay. What should we look for specifically so we won't get a lousy label product?
Oh, do you have an hour or just a few minutes? You know what? Unfortunately, in Canada, there are very lax regulations around what people can put on their labels. So, as you saw on our show that you just watched, you can say something's natural or earth-friendly. You know, I mean, that's a killer to me. Like, I don't know what's the opposite of earth-friendly, earth-hostile? People can put anything on their logos, on their labels that are going to convince you that they're greener, that they're environmentally friendly. So I would just watch for all kinds of claims, things that say they're non-toxic. There really aren't regulations around that. The regulations are so loosey-goosey that any company can say those things. What I tend to do when I'm buying a product is I don't really look at the claims on the front because that's just marketing. That's advertising, trying to get me to grab that product off the shelf as compared to other things. So I look at the ingredient list. And unfortunately, for things like cleaners for the home, they don't have to list what the ingredients are, but they do for things like personal care products, moisturizers, toothpaste, shampoo, all that kind of stuff. And I look at the list, and if I see a bunch of words that are just too long for me to even pronounce, then I think that maybe I want to steer clear of those. So I look for what tend to be more natural products, but by that I mean like 5 or 6 ingredients, 10 at the most. But sometimes, you guys, if you look at the labels, you should go home and go to your bathroom and pull out some of the things that are on your shelves, and you'll be amazed. Like the list of, and it's so tiny, everything that's listed on the back of your shampoo bottle, and all that stuff is going into your scalp, and your skin really absorbs stuff. So you got to wonder, is that good for you or is that good for the company, because it makes the shampoo lather more, or it stretches it more, or what have you. So it's not really a great answer for you. There aren't key buzzwords that will tell you something's healthy, but there are words to look out for that will tell you it might not be healthy. Does that help?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Next person.
What are your other ways of raising awareness of toxic chemicals in green products? Or green products?
Yeah, I like the air quotes. That's really important. What are marketplaces ways, or?
Well, I mean, what are your ways that you've raised awareness about them?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm kind of a drag at dinner parties and places I go because I'm always, talking about my work, and people are interested in it. But when I'm, at someone's house and I use the bathroom, I can't help but notice what's on their shelf, and I'll say, "Hey, did you know that parabens are maybe not so great for young kids because they're endocrine disruptors, so that means it can affect your sex hormones as you're developing," stuff like that. Like, I just think when you have information, it's really great to share it with people. And I have to say, a lot of people, because I host the show, sometimes I'll get stopped on the street or in the store, and people will actually go through my grocery cart and go, "Oh, what's she buying?" So I talk to people about why I make certain purchases. I think that's really important. And ask your parents. Tell them that you're concerned about the food that you eat and the products that are used to clean your home, whether you're using window cleaners or bathroom cleaners or stuff on your carpet. There are all kinds of really good environmentally friendly websites that you can go to look up good products. EWG.com, that's the Environmental Working Group. They list all kinds of things that are safer. They've done a bunch of testing, and you can maybe get some ideas there too.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Next person.
Don't be shy.
Are there any boys that are going to ask any questions, or is it all girls?
It was just the best questions at the time.
Yay, go girls. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Is some of the food we eat a lousy label?
Is some of the food we eat? Oh, absolutely. Fast food by and large is terrible for you. I eat it, but it's all in moderation. I think everything in small doses is okay, but a lot of people live off stuff because they believe the hype around things like chicken nuggets that might be made from fresh whole chickens, and if you actually look into what's in a particular brand of chicken nugget, there's not a whole lot of chicken. There are all kinds of food claims that are lousy, things that claim they're lower in sodium. Well, lower than what? Lower than a block of salt? They don't have to say what they're lower than. So that's the thing. I think researchers have looked into what people care about, and more we care about what we're putting in our bodies, and so they're finding these loosey-goosey ways to market their products that make you think that they're good for you. I saw an ad the other day. It was for a fast food company, and the kids were running through the field, biting their hamburgers and drinking their milkshakes. And that food is about as far away from an open flower field as anything you could ever get. So, you guys are smart. Just don't be taken in when you see things that are too good to be true, because most of the times they aren't. And just do stuff in moderation. Don't dine out at fast food places all the time, and don't buy a lot of over-processed foods like pizzas and frozen dinners. They all taste really good, but it's because they're full of ingredients that pump up the taste and that might not be that good for you. Fats and sodium.
Next question.
Now, I should tell you, at Halloween, I don't just give out apples. I believe in treats once in a while, too.
Have you ever gotten in trouble for telling everyone which products are bad by the company?
That is a very timely question, because we have a story coming up this week where we're being threatened legally about the story. So, yeah, there are often companies that aren't really happy with the stuff that we put on Marketplace, because our mandate on the show is we expose wrongdoing to empower consumers. And so often the way you expose wrongdoing is you expose what companies are doing that isn't truthful or that's misleading, and they don't tend to like that very much. And a lot of companies have a lot of money and they spend that on their legal department. And so, yeah, we get chill. Often we get threatening letters for lawsuits and things, but we have our own legal team, and so at Marketplace we really heavily research every single story we're doing so that we can avoid being sued, because that's a really costly thing. And it's scary too, because once you've been sued once, the next time you might be more hesitant to speak out. But I'm really lucky because at Marketplace the executive producer is very brave, and I think just as long as we stick to the facts, then we're in safe hands. So, yeah, we've had lots of threats and a couple of lawsuits that have gone away, but so far touch wood, I'll just knock my head. We've been lucky, and nobody's won so far against us.
Okay, thank you. Are you buying green now?
Yeah, I try to buy green as often as I can. It's hard because it takes a lot of time to read a bunch of labels, but I have an 8-year-old daughter, and I want to make sure that she's not eating stuff that's not great for her, that's going to limit her growth. And where I really focus where I look the most for green things is on food. Certain fruits and vegetables, I only buy organic, and then other fruits and vegetables, I don't buy organic because if you wash them really well, there's no pesticides on them anyhow. And I don't buy milk or I buy organic meat and chicken because I have concerns there. But lots of people, it's just a personal choice thing. But yeah, I try to walk the talk. At Marketplace, we say everything kills you, so you'd buy nothing if you stuck to everything that we told you. But I think as long as you make an effort and try to cut out as much as you can, then at least you're off to a good start.
Last question.
Now that you did this experiment, do you think these companies will stop doing this?
Oh, that's always our wish. And last season, we did a story on lousy labels on food products, and Maple Leaf Foods had a brand of sandwich meat that they claimed didn't have any nitrites in it. And there's concern that nitrites are linked to cancer. And then after our story aired, Maple Leaf actually changed their label, and now it says that this product contains nitrite. So they did take the nitrite out of the product, which would have been good, but at least they're telling consumers. So when you buy it, you know that it's got that ingredient in it. So far, we haven't heard from any of the companies that were in our latest story that just aired last month, but sometimes it takes them a while, and sometimes they don't always tell us. They make changes, and then we just happen to notice on the shelf 6 months later that their packaging is different. But, it's a big money maker. The reason companies put these claims on their products is because that's how they suck people in, and so they're not really eager to make changes. And in our story, you saw that the Competition Bureau that's supposed to crack down on companies, they're not doing it. So there really isn't any reason for them to stop doing what they're doing if they're making a lot of money doing it. So fingers crossed companies will change. And I think it's important that consumers call. A lot of products have a 1-800 information line on the back of them, like you call customer service and ask questions. And I think, if you're sitting at your breakfast table and you look at, say, your cereal box and you wonder why is there so much sugar in this cereal or so much sodium, call that 1-800 number and ask them, because they have to keep track of the nature of everyone's phone calls and what you're calling about. And if enough people call with questions or complaints about something, then eventually that will make them change.
Okay, thank you.
Nice to talk to you.
Once again, Erica, on behalf of Strathcona Tweedsmuir School, we thank you for taking time out of your busy filming schedule to spend a few minutes on the spot trying to answer some very good questions. So thanks again. We really appreciate it.
Oh, you know what, Craig? I'm so happy to be able to do this. Anytime you guys want to Skype or ask questions, I think that's the key thing, especially when you're young. Just keep asking questions. Don't just ask them of me. Ask them of anyone. Like, that's how we learn, and that's how we share information, and it's really valuable. So I'm really pleased to be able to talk to you guys, and those were excellent questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, Erica.
Bye, Craig. Take care.